Okay, hello, hi. I'm going to tell you about my DMT experience. It's something that really affected me, and it's a story I've been keeping to myself, the details of it, so that I can make this video. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. First of all, I feel it's important to mention that set and setting and the importance of that, because yeah, setting the tone and being in a safe space is so conducive to having a really positive experience. And so I'll describe sort of what my set and setting looked like, just to get things started. So a friend came over to facilitate this. He was sober and a sitter throughout the experience. He provided a space for intention setting, and then we did guided meditation, really quick, like 5-10 minute meditation on just creating, a bubble of white light that was growing out of our chests and expanding around us, keeping us safe from any negative energy and inviting only positive influence into the experience, which is really awesome. I don't know if you watched my previous video, but that's something I had done a couple of weeks prior, and it's almost as though I were preparing for this and other events that followed, which I'll get into in a separate video. So that was really lovely, and got me in a nice calm space. I was inside at another friend's house who had let me use her space, and I was in her room. The environment, the sound aspect of the environment was relatively controlled, not super noisy, a bit of street noise, but it wasn't too much. We were playing the Eternal Om in the background, which was, I would say, the best thing to play, and sometimes I listen to it to revisit the experience, and it's just so awesome. You could just find it on YouTube, the Eternal Om, listen to it forever. But anyways, so yeah, it's in a glass pipe, and it's sort of like a resin that's coated on top of this like copper wire, like mesh ball of copper wire, and it's not lit directly. It's the wire is heated, the ball of wire is heated from underneath, and the fire comes up and heats it as though it's an element, and then the smoke comes up from that. Has kind of a plasticky smell, which is interesting, but not like overly offensive, and it doesn't stick to the environment. It dissipates pretty quickly. At least the method that we were doing, I heard it's actually like not a typical method. But anyway, so yeah, there's one really big deep breath in, and I was told to flex my lower belly to sort of just encourage the absorption of the DMT, and took it all the way in, and then exhaled, and then I was to take another one in, but then I was already kind of feeling it, but I went back to the pipe and took maybe a half, and then at that point I was already like the auditory aspect of it was already coming in, this like electric humming sound, sort of like a pulsing, or even, I'm not sure if it was pulsing. It's hard to understand what was going on there, but visually, my friend who was holding the pipe for me, he was like disappearing into space, like he was becoming smaller, but the outline of him was all like neon, and the outlines of everything were all neon and then blurring into each other, like non-differentiating. It's all just I fell back, decided that was enough, and then just laid back. Sorry, I did not decide anything. The body, I guess, decided that was enough. So I just fell back, although I don't really recall doing that. And it's as though time disappeared. I don't even know how long. It felt like I was there forever in this space of this sound of the Om, the Eternal Om, just sort of echoing in the background with this like hum sort of going over it, this like electric hum, and inside of this space, like my eyes are closed, and I'm seeing a wall of picture frames, and picture frames are all moving like images, like little stories that are being told inside of each one, and it's kind of shifting. Like if you imagine like a deck of cards, I'm looking at the wall is one card, and on the card are little picture frames with little moving stories inside of them. But so the deck of cards is also spreading out, so I'm being made aware of the fact that there are countless other layers going on here, and they're just all just sort of shifting down like that. So I could attach myself to one of the picture frames by just looking at a picture frame, and then I'll just be like, I'll zoom into that, and then I'm in the story of some people just walking by. There's like kind of cartoony like characters, one kind of knobby joints and like long lanky limbs, and like kind of like hunched over and like looking over at me like just passively, like not trying to be nice, not trying to be mean, just sort of like, who are you? And then there are other characters there too, and they were all aware of me, but not really inviting me to like conversation or interact with them at all. It was just, I entered their world and they were like, who is that? And then I pulled out of that, and then was back at the wall again, and then there's another picture frame which I locked in on, and I went into that, and then that was another story, and I realized that it was another story, and it also felt like another time. It felt like I don't even remember if it was later or earlier, but centuries apart, and the person I saw more people there, and the face of the first person that I saw initially, who was all like hunched over and knobby and stuff, he was there, and he had the same face, but he was in a different body, and the body was like it was like long and slim, and still lanky, but like he was in a different persona or something. He was somebody else, and there were other people there who were also somebody else, but who might have been in the previous scene. I don't really have a lot of memory about that. And yeah, so I continued to go in and out of these pictures and observing the passing characters, and just continued to see the same face over and over, and some part of me was sort of trying to understand who that was, or where I knew him from. But then there was also the lack of I that was happening there. There was this confusion about, like, there was no I didn't have that. I had no recollection of body. I was in a bodiless experience. It was pure visual at this point. But the interesting thing was that it was actually all being influenced by my emotions, and I realized that was happening when I was like, oh wow, I'm in this really intense space. It's all colorful and beautiful, and I'm in so much awe. I'm just in so much awe, observing this now as though it's art. This shifting deck of cards with like beautiful, just exactly perfect images, and so yeah, there's paint trickling kind of down the edges of the cards very slowly, nothing too overwhelming. There's texture in the wall, so it's very like bumpy and rigid, and it's moving kind of like slowly, and I feel a feeling. I feel joy. I feel awe, and the way I feel it fully, and it changes slightly. It changes slightly, but in the most perfect way. It's beautiful, and it's so exactly joy, and it's so exactly awe, or whatever the feeling was that I was feeling at the moment. And that just made me feel so heard and so understood, and it just felt so intuitive and so me. I forgot to mention what my intention was, but I'll tell you that afterwards. So I'm in the space of just meanness in this awe, and then there was curiosity, and I felt what curiosity was in its entirety, and then I got to see what it looked like, and it was so exactly curiosity. It was so beautiful, and then curiosity shifted to something else, and then some aspect of wonder, and then there was a flicker of fear, which made me be like, no, I don't want it to get ugly. I don't want it to get ugly. And there was all this fear around how fear will change what the picture looks like, or what I'm experiencing, and fear just came. I felt it entirely, and then it just left just as quickly as all the others did, and entered right into gratitude. And inside of gratitude, I felt I was so filled with what that felt like. I was filled with the lessons that I had learned from what that meant about fear, and how it's just part of it. It's just part of it. You're okay. Hey, you're okay. It's just part of it. It was just so easy to me, with me. It was just, it's nothing to attach to. It's nothing that's any more important than any of the other things that I'm experiencing. And I was just so grateful to realize that. So I was filled with this tremendous sense of gratitude. It overwhelms me when I revisit it too, as well. I've experienced it a number of times in the past week and a bit, which I'll share in another video. So I wake up, and I open my eyes, and I'm connecting my focus to the objects on the wall that I'm looking at in my friend's room. And I see pictures of her, and I see like beautiful little messages written on the wall, like really encouraging messages that she just has there, that just needed to be seen in that moment. And life is love, or you are love, and you're so courageous, and you're so brave. It was really encouraging and really beautiful. And I saw a picture of my friend, and I felt just such deep gratitude towards her, and I just laid there and I cried. I cried in gratitude, and just for her, and for this opportunity, and for my friend who was sitting there just watching. And so he had left to sort of, he knew that I was back, and he's like, I'm just going to let you sort of take it in, and I'll be back, and I'll be out here if you need me, kind of deal. And I just had my moment, so I just sat there for like 10-15 minutes, just with my head like, oh, fuck. Like, it was just so tremendously beautiful. I actually just reminded myself of another part of being inside the trip. It's funny because the memories are so vague and they're slipping away, so I'm really glad that I'm making this video. There was a part before the deck of cards and the emotion observation, where I was like, wait a second, don't I have a body? Where's my body? I don't know. It could even have been after the emotions. No, it was before the emotions. I was wondering, wait, what about my body? And I realized I could open my eyes and be in my body at any point, but I was choosing to keep my eyes closed. But yeah, so I kept my eyes closed with that question, and I was in this position while lying there, like just sort of laughing. I think I was just laughing. I was experiencing joy. That's what it was. I was experiencing joy. I was laughing, and I had my hands up, like, just, yes, this is so good. And what it felt like was the hands that were on my head. My hand was like this, and my other hand, or it felt like I was holding on to my own head from over here with this hand. So I felt like I was out of my body, but I was just sort of holding on to my own head, which was really interesting. And when I actually did come back into my body after the experience of gratitude, my body felt really big, like heavy and meaty and thick. Like it was just, but it wasn't negative. It was just. It was actually like being held. Like I was just in my body, and I was so inside myself. Which brings me to what my intention was, which was to get more clear and grounded inside of who I am. And so, yeah, I don't remember if I told you that. I'm a little all over the place. This experience and the timelines are still a little scattered in the way that I remember them. But yeah, so I've had pretty intense experience, and it's been a lot of integrating and a lot of processing since then, and it's something that I think I'm going to do and revisit a couple of times over the next couple of weeks, as though it were therapy. I'm hoping that the 2-week point is an okay time. It's an impulse that I felt as soon as I came away from the experience, to revisit it, that there's something else that needs to be examined, although not something to rush into necessarily. Having all of this occur has changed me in such intense ways I can't even tell you. But the gratitude and the veil of gratitude has been just over my eyes, like, ever since, in this very lovely way. Just looking at the clouds the other day and just being in awe of that, or just being in awe of walking down the street, just so profoundly affected by just the magic of life. It's like being born again, and being able to see the novelty again of this crazy, beautiful existence that we're all living in. I mean, you can hone your focus in on any detail and just see such remarkable intricacies, like the grains in the table. Like, holy shit, this was alive, and this was like, it's like the texture of skin, you know, like it's just, it shows life, it shows many layers of evolution and development, and now it's my table. So yeah, I feel permanently changed in the most positive way, and I will get into more of that on a future video. I'm getting to like I don't know what time I'm at, but yeah, I don't want to make it too long. But so oh, I should probably mention that when I came out of my experience, I went to the other room and met with my 2 friends and gave them some good love hugs, and just cried on the shoulder of the friend who allowed me to sort of use her room, and just held her so tightly and just cried and cried, and she just held me as long as I needed to be held, and I'm still so grateful for her. So yeah, I wasn't expecting to cry on this video, and I'm all like sniffly and stuff now, but the vulnerability thing, yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. So yeah, I'm gonna revisit this whole thing again on Thursday, and I will make another video about that. And for now, I am letting you go, and I hope you have a beautiful day.